For the latest in my In Conversation pieces, I'm joined by a man who's nothing short of a living legend. One of my angling heroes, Tom Pickering. Tom, I don't know where to start. I mean, you're one of the best known, best respected anglers in the country, so I suppose it makes sense to start from the beginning. How did it all start for you?
My Uncle Jack took me fishing. Probably 6 or 7 years old. We used to go for walks one day, then we went fishing, and then we used to get on. He used to take me up bike ride and Pontyperch Pond on bikes and Rye Hill and places like that near Wakefield and Barnsley. And that's how it started. I went with my mates and we used to go all over the place and on bus and train and then I went with Working Man's Club where I come from, South Kirby, Mill Lane, British Legion and Pit Club. There were 3 clubs in the area. I mean, amazing how many clubs there were, and they took me under the wing for a while, and then I met a lad called Dennis White at 16 and the rest is history, as they say. We just wanted the same things, but it started with my Uncle Jack. My Uncle Jack took me and I was just obsessed with it. I just loved it, you know. I just wanted to go out all the time. You know, I see some kids nowadays and you see an hour like that, you know, I would just wanted to go all the time. All I thought about was fishing, nothing else. I didn't want to do anything else. Just go watch football in winter a bit, because we didn't fish so much in winter then. A lot of it was summer fishing. But when summer came, I remember I used to be a member of South Kirby Pit Club, and we used to go down to Colliery, and there were 2 lakes there, and I went every single day at school, summer holidays, 6 weeks, every day. Up at 6 o'clock, come home at 9 o'clock at night, 15 hours a day. My mum would pack me some sandwiches and a drink, and she used to give me, I can't remember how much it was, and she'd say, give me a bit of money to go to the pit canteen and get something. And I'd be there 15 hours. And I only came home because it was black. I couldn't see me float. I mean, could you imagine it now? I was 12, 13, 14, you know, you'd be frightened to death now, wouldn't you, sending your kids out, and never even worried, just turned up at 9 o'clock, hey up mum, we got my dinner on, and that were it, like, yeah, that's how it started.
So it's a proper sort of love affair with fishing, first and foremost.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, all my life's been a love affair with fishing, and I mean, that's all I've ever wanted to do, and you know, even now I still get keen, not about everything about fishing, but certain parts of it I do, and you know, I still love going, you know, fishing competitions, and my first love is putting my hand in draw bag.
Yeah.
I still get excited to this day putting my hand in draw bag. I mean, more times than often I go like that and throw it back down in disgust like, but I still get excited about putting my hand in draw bag to draw a number. Even in 64, and I still, you know, so my love for it is still there.
So tell us about the next chapter. Then obviously you met Dennis, and I'm guessing that somewhere in the next few years the Barnsley team was formed.
Well, the Barnsley team were formed because I met Dennis going with South Kirby Pit Club, and he come along and then he on the Trent. My first match on Trent, he won it an hour. I think I was second or third. The next time I was second again, I couldn't beat him. I went to Collingham and I won it. I had £9.40 a gudgeon, and he had £8, and I was the first person to beat him. And he said to me, right, young, I better come with me. And we went to Marnham on Trent, and we both weighed a minute and 21.5 £. And he says, right, what do you want to do? I just says, I want to be the best angler in the world. He said, right, we'll go together, and that's how it started. And we went on a match at Dunham Bridge, and there were no Barnsley Blacks then. And we went in and we put a team in, and used to put 4-man teams in. And there were me, Dennis, Alan Sefton, and a lad from Stockport. I can't remember his name, and I should never forget it. But I'm not right good with names. And I said, what we're going to call it? And he went, Barnsley Blacks. And I put it down. Barnsley Blacks, and we're all giggling like. And anyway, we come third that day, and this like, oh, what's his name from Stockport? One at Stockport lads, he won the match, and we actually come third. And when they announced it, third place Barnsley Blacks, everybody started laughing. And when I come home, I says, I'm going to form a club called Barnsley Blacks, and he said, yeah. And that's how it started. And then what we did, we got 1 or 2 lads. There were me, John Claydon, Keith Ashmore, Dick Clegg, Keith Hobson, and me and Dennis. There were 6 of us. And then we put a Winter League team in, Fishing Angling Times Winter League. We took Trentman on. We brought a few people in, Dave Thomas, Stuart Thompson, Adrian Broomhead, and 1 or 2 other Barnsley anglers. And we actually beat Trentman in Angling Times. Went to final, won it. We actually won it. We actually, at Coombe Abbey, we actually won the Angling Tide Final Fish Year in 1975. And then it was history after that. We just went forward and forward, and we've had some fantastic fishing for us, like unbelievable. It just like people you can't, people like John Allerton, John Smiles, people, Ivan Marks, still killing, proper fishermen. But apart from the local lads that we've brought on ourselves, lads that are like top at draw, awesome. Pleasure to fish with them, really. I mean, I'm honoured. I mean, I'm honoured to fish with them, and I feel privileged that I were actually part of all that. And what's good now is I look back at what Glenn's done at Barnsley now, and I see them youngsters, and I go, wow, how good are they? They've got 5 or 6 youngsters there that are just absolutely better than we ever were. And they're going to take, and they have done the Barnsley tradition along with Alan, that's still there, and just unbelievable. So it's nice to see that. I started it, and I still, I still watch the results, and I'm still keen. And I was gutted the other week when they didn't win World Clubs, great memories.
Yeah,
the best.
I can imagine. It's something special, team fishing, which I suppose brings me nicely on to the next question. Your involvement with the international setup. When did you first get picked to fish for England?
23 I was, which I was the youngest ever to be selected and fish. And Roy Marlowe was youngest at 18, but that was it was by team. The top 6 teams qualified. But Roy Marlowe, then Mark got picked. Mark Downs at 22. We didn't fish till we were 24, so I got picked at 23, and it was 23rd birthday when I got my phone call. And it were Stan Smith, and I'll never forget, phone rang, picked it up. My mum were in hospital, I was just about to go see my mum. And she just had operation in Pontefract Hospital, and picked phone up. Hello, this is Stanley Smith from the National Federation of Anglers. And I went, oh yeah. And I was like, anyway, no, it's actually, and I was like, oh crack, it sounds like him. I'd like to select you for the forthcoming World Championships in Austria in Vienna. And I went, really? He went, yes, congratulations. I went, Stan, it's my 23rd birthday today. And he went, oh, well, happy birthday. And he went, I'll send you details through the post, put phone down.
Brilliant.
And I went, did that really happen? And I was like, anyway, I went to hospital. My mum had just come out of operation, and I was like, I sat there holding her hand, and she hadn't quite come round. She come round, I went, Mum, I've been selected for England. And she just burst into tears, and we were both crying in Pontefract Hospital. And she just had an operation, and I'll never forget it. It's one that, unfortunately, she passed away a few years after that with leukemia, so she never saw what I did, really. She saw me fish my first couple of internationals, but she never saw what I achieved. And that's probably one of my saddest things in life, is that my mum actually helped me get there, never saw it happen. At 47, she got leukemia.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it is. It's life. It's horrible. I still think about it. I carry a photo in my wallet, and it's. But we went to Vienna. We come last. We come last. It's not funny, but it is now. You look back, but that were like, we come last. We went to this place in Vienna, and we sacked up. We caught on slider. It was solid with fish. And on the day, they kept telling us it's going to be a full moon on the night before. You won't catch any fish. And yeah, I've heard all that before. Couldn't get a bite.
Really?
We couldn't get a bite. And the day after it blew, it were individual, and I'm sure we would have won it for that day. I'm sure we would have won it if it had been a windy day. And we couldn't get a bite, and we actually come last. But what that did, it brought changes into everything. Stan. Year after we went to Spain, we come 6th, and the year after that we come 2nd in Germany. Germans, nobody was going to beat Germany, so it were actually a good result. And then now I don't know what happened, but they changed managers. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Obviously I don't know, but probably it were a blessing in disguise in the fact that what happened and created 1983. They brought Dick in, and he completely changed everything. British angling, English angling, so much of that man, it's unbelievable. It's like it just changed the mentality of us all.
In what way? What did he do?
Well, it turned us into winners, really. It taught us. It told us, you're the best fisherman in the world, and he made us do things and go practice and different things, and he picked the anglers for what he thought was the right conditions. But he changed the mentality, and he made us competitive against each other. Although we were great mates within the setup, we wanted to kill each other in practice.
Yeah.
But after that, we sat down and spoke, and that's the mentality created. We wanted to repeat the hardest matches in the week were the 5 days trying to get in the team.
Yeah, yeah.
We wanted to kill each other, and like me and Dennis, we were like two Jack Russells, me and Dennis, and nobody got no change out of us, except in the meeting after we told them same as they all did. And he changed the mentality, and of course I learnt lots from that, and we're all. Well, we should be thankfully grateful for what he achieved, and you can see it now. Like, I mean, a lot of my coaching things, what I did when I worked feeders and ladies, were because of Dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my own way, but a lot of it was down to Dick. Make people competitive. Don't be soft with them. You do it. You do it for the right reason. I don't care if they are your mate or your friend. If they're not in the team, you leave them out.
Yeah.
No matter how much they're upset. I don't care how much they're your friends. And that's the mentality. It was mentality. Listen, all the England setup. You're not in any international team, no matter what country it is. If you're a bad angler, you're there because you're one of the best. It's about management, controlling them anglers, and pointing them in the right direction. And it changed our. I mean, that 5 days before the match were gruesome. We used to fish 2 sessions. You walked different pegs, and you were absolutely wrecked. But he taught us that if you all beat each other, you'll beat them at weekend.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you can't believe it. You come back and you want a 3-week off to rest, but on that Saturday and Sunday, you wanted to kill the opposition. You really did.
That's really interesting you say that, about a management style like that. I mean, did you ever... That competition between the anglers to get in the team, you never felt anybody held anything back at all?
No. Well, there's always occasions that there's an odd angler does that.
Yeah.
But the main anglers, the main stay of the lads, would have told her. We had an attitude of, like, my attitude was simple. If I found something that worked, I will show the other anglers, and if they do it better than me, I'll walk bank on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not about me, it's about the team. Yeah. And that's the mentality it should be. And like, as far as I'm aware, most of the anglers, right, would have done the same as I did.
Yeah.
And if not, Kevin would have probably killed them. Right, because he was our leader, and he was the one that controlled the anglers.
Yeah.
And if we just wouldn't. We said, that's my mentality. You come and say, that works, and if they did it better than me, I'll walk back Saturday, even though I come up with a method. Yeah. And that's how it should be. It's not about anybody, it's about England. It's not about anybody's team, it's about individually, it's about England. And that's, in them days, we got people like me, Dennis, Kevin, Stevie Gardner, Bob Nudd. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
They were absolutely awesome, I mean, and that's before Alan and people like that, they were awesome. It's like, I'm so proud to have been part of it, I really am.
I just want to talk briefly about your World Championship win. You won the World Champs, was it?
89.
89, yeah. I was going to say
Plovdiv in Bulgaria.
Talk us through that.
Well, it were 1989. I'd had a couple of good years. We'd won it previous year in Portugal. I think we'd won it 3 times in 4 years. We were the team, And we went to Bulgaria, and it were a big rowing course, Plovdiv. And it were all waggler work, really. Perhaps each end, it finished up a waggler job. And anyway, first day I drew B section. And all we're doing was spraying maggots. Just spraying maggots, and you fished around the maggots. And on the day, you had to feed your maggots and cast past them. And the fish were just past them. And first day I drew B section, I drew it middle of B section. And there were a bridge that split B and C. And I set off, 20 minutes I never had a bite. And I got stung by a wasp. I'm just staring at my hand. And it's the first time and only time I've ever been stung. I've never been stung by a wasp before or since. And Roger Morton was behind me and he come running up and he dabbed a thing on my hand. And next cast I chucked out, went and I caught a carp. And I got another one. And anyway, I finished up, I had, I think, I'm not sure, 11 kilo, 12 kilos, and I won the section. And but team didn't do right well. We had a couple of bad ones, and Wales won the team on the day. And but I'd won my section, so next day I drew C section. I was in C section, and in C section you had to be 1 to 10. And it was near bridge. The water fish were there. And the day before, between 11 and 27, I think it was, the highest weight was 1 kilo, and that was one fish. And then the next part of D section, that were bad as well. So I really had to be 1 to 10, and I drew, I think, 24. And I thought, well, that's me individual, but we can still get a team medal. I've got to try and do my best. And it's weird, but you know, when you say you got your name on it, sometimes you have. And anyway, I cast out and Wagler fired some bait and got a vimber. There was a fish called vimber. Got another vimber and another one. Then I got a chub and another chub. And I kept putting fish in there and putting fish in there. And I thought, oh, I'm doing all right here. And Roger Morton was with me running up and down. You're doing all right, you're coming second, you're coming second. And I'm thinking, are you sure? That's like, because there's loads of fish. He says, there's only one at the Scottish lads beating you near bridge. So anyway, it's come to end of match and I've got a carp last cast, which were £4. And I put it in there and he says, you're definitely second now. And I went, can I get a medal with second? He went, yeah, it's going to be close, it's going to be close. He said, but you've a chance. I went, all right, what about team? He said, we've a chance of a bronze. Wales will walk it and Italy will come second. So I said, all right. Anyway, I've weighed in, I've come second. 1 kilo was best between 11 and 27 again. I don't know why I caught him to this day. It was so strange. I was like, why? I don't know. I shouldn't have caught him. You know, anyway, I've come second. So we're all milling around, all press and Jack Stead and all people, sponsors. And anyway, we're trying to find out. And you want to, nobody had won the section 2 days. We'd heard that the Welsh lad had got a 1 and 2, but I beat him on weight. Cassini was, he had a 1 and a 2, but I beat him on weight. And the only one that were left were Barbetta. And we thought he was second, but he would beat me on weight because he had a big weight the first day. And we're waiting there, so I've got a silver, and I'm sat there, and all of a sudden the president of Italy walked up, and I went, excuse me, I'll never forget, I went, Barbetta in the sector, and I went like that, and he says, Barbetta, and he went, 3, like that. I went, third? He went, yes, and walked off. I won it. And it was like, I was like that, have I won it? And it's the weirdest thing in the world. And all of a sudden I could see Dick running up and with his arms up in air. And I knew then I'd won it. And I run to him and grabbed hold of him. And I said, have I won it? He went, yeah. I said, what about team? And he went, we've come third. I went, so we've got a medal, which is always nice, you know, because it's quite weird if team, like when Emma won it, she was going to go, but team didn't get a medal. And it's always a funny feeling that. Anyway, I just said, I've got to find Dennis, and I run up and he went in the next section, he was just sat on his box. And I'll never forget it, and just run past him, and I saw, Denny, I've won it, all like that. And what? I said, I've won it individual. And he went, what? And we just run at each other and just hit each other in midair like them lovers on beach do, you know. We just hit each other and we were like two idiots dancing around. And it were incredible, and the parade was fantastic. There were thousands of people there, and they just paraded me in front of everybody and onto the podium. Champion Dimondo Pickering, and you get up on stage and your name comes up, and it were a real special presentation. It were incredible. But the strangest thing, when you're part of it and when you're there, and it happens it's fantastic. But it's not as fantastic as it is now. At 64 when I look back.
Yeah.
It's really weird because you're part of it. You don't not expect it, but you're like, it's weird, but now you're not part of it and you look back, you think, crikey, would I really be, champion at World? Yeah. The world, it's a big place, world.
Yeah.
You know, people don't appreciate it. When I see people who are world champions, I go up to them and I say, it's a big place, world. Never forget that. You are the champion of the world. And that's because I know how it feels now older, looking back, and I think, wow, I appreciate it more now than I did when I won it.
Yeah.
It's different, and I mean, England haven't got many world champions at any sport.
No.
You know, we've probably got more in fishing than most sports. You know, and I find it more special now. Not that it wasn't special then, but even now, I probably appreciate it more now. Is probably the way to put it, and what it means, because I look back.
Interesting, isn't it? Well, it's awesome, isn't it? Absolutely awesome.
Oh no, it's the best. You can't. You know, it's like I always said to people: don't matter if you've been a world champion. It don't matter the day you die and you've got your coffin. They can put world champion on that. Not many people have got that.
It's true, isn't it?
It's true.
Mega achievement.
Unbelievable.
So, fast forward a few years. I mean, just briefly recap. I mean, team-wise, how many gold medals did you have with that setup? It must have been a fair few.
I think. Well, I got 3 with float team fishing, and then you know I got a couple with Lasses. Went out manager at Lasses. I think we got 3. And had a couple with feeder team, so...
We'll come on to that, with the feeder team next, but how did it all sort of come to an end with the float team? What happened there?
I don't know, really. I mean, what happened was Dick packed in 2000 and Mark took over, and I just didn't fit their style of fishing. Right. Simple as that, really. You know, I'm a manager, so I understand it probably met the most. And the fact that, you know, when I'm a manager, I pick the team that I think will do what I want them to do, and different styles, and I just didn't fit their eye. Simple as that, really. Yeah. I think there were a couple of matches I perhaps should have fished personally at that start, but I didn't fit I want their cup of tea. Yeah. And you know, at times it hurts like mad. You know, you're disappointed and you're gutted, and you want to. You know, you want to tell them how you feel, and you look back now and I go, it's just what it is. Yeah. In any sport, the manager picks what he thinks is right, and the record's pretty good. So you know, end of the day, like I were only fishermen. You know, end of the day, like they were great fishermen that we got, and I just didn't fit their eye. Simple as that. Simple as that. Like there are other people that didn't fit their eye. It's what it is. And once you've got a successful team, it's hard to change a successful team, but. I think if Dick had stopped in charge, I'd have fished a couple more, because I think I saw, you know, there were certain. I want to fish every venue. They never saw me as a great bloodworm joker angler, and I get that. But I think there were 1 or 2 waters that I should have fished when it wasn't that type of like slider venues and places like that. Yeah. I think I should have fitted in 1 or 2 of them. But that's all it is, really. You know, and I understand that more than anybody.
Yeah, of course, having both perspectives as a manager as well. Absolutely.
I think you appreciate it more because I'm a manager, and end of the day, like I pick 6 people, and there's other people I don't pick. Why don't you pick them people? Because I don't think they're as good as them, or they don't fit what I want them to do, and that's all it is, really. But I mean, I think you know, in my own mind, I still think I left 1 or 2 behind, if that makes sense. Because there's no doubt about it. I did lose my way in the 90s. There's not my own admission. I didn't do the right work. I didn't do the right kind of work, and Dick left me out, and I blamed everything about what the problem was. And the problem was me. I didn't do the right kind of work. Which is, when I come later on in my life, when I become a manager, I express that to the people. If you don't do the right kind of work, I'll leave you out like I did. I'm the perfect example of what you should be doing, because I didn't do it in the 90s, lost my place, couldn't get it back. When I got it back, I worked out to get it back, and when I got it back, there was a change of manager, and they didn't see me in the team. Simple as that.
What do you mean by that, the right kind of work? Just a job that's maybe too intense?
The blood. We were getting stronger bloodworm joke. I didn't do enough of it.
Right, okay.
Alan and Dennis did. They went their way, I went my way. And that was partly me moving to Doncaster as well, and not travelling with Dennis. That didn't help. He was going bloodworm joke fishing with Alan, and I won't, because all of a sudden I've moved, and he wasn't my partner, if that makes sense. And I'm sure if I'd have stopped in South Kirby, where I went fishing with Dennis, I would have done what he did, and I didn't. And so I lost my way a bit. Dick saw, well, if you're not put it working, I'll get people that are. Yeah. Simple as that, and I don't blame him. He was right. I thought he was wrong at the time, but I look back now and think, you stupid idiot. You know, I think, how stupid can you be? So what I've done in last few years, I expressed that to think, don't do what I did, because don't let me take the shirt off you, because trust me, when I take the shirt off you, it's hard to get back, which it was for me. And I got it back, I worked hard and I got it back in late 90s, and then there was a change of manager and they saw other anglers that fitted their eye better than me. Simple as that, really.
So after that spell in the England team, you did what I'd say probably a few anglers were reluctant to do at that time. With the emergence of commercial fishing and commercial fishery, you totally engulfed yourself in it and won an awful lot of matches and money doing it.
No, I realised I was never going to get picked for England again, and I worked it out pretty quick. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I could see the commercial fishing taking off, and I went, I need to do that. So I got all my number ones out and threw them away, and I changed all my tackle, changed everything, and I went out and out commercial fishing, because I thought that was the future, from the big matches, from sponsorships and things like that. So I started going to Whiteacres. I met a lad called Kieran Rich, who I owe a lot to, because he taught me how to catch carp in the early days. He were a brilliant tactician, he could catch them, and he taught me how to catch them. And I won Park Dean Masters, and I just took to it, and I learnt my own style of how to catch carp then. The method feeder come out, Andy Finley taught me about that. He showed me how to put the bait on the feeder correctly. Craig O'Brien taught me about hook lengths, and I put the two together and worked it all out. So I got engrossed myself in commercialism, really, and that's what I did, because I knew my England career were over. I knew I was never going to get picked, and all my life all I wanted to do was fish for England. But let me tell you, the worst week of my life every year was the week of the World Championships. I hated that week, because I knew what the lads were doing, what were going on, and it was horrible sat at home. It's horrible sat on this chair when they're all over there. It really, and I used to tell my lads that, don't be sat on that chair at home, it's horrible. Yeah. When you know you're away. But that's what I did, I changed everything, and I went to Whiteacres for probably 15 or 16 years, and then, you know, I just changed my life, really, and that's what I did, I changed everything. I just went, wallop, done.
I just want to go back very quickly to Kieran Rich, because I remember growing up I used to read Match Fishing magazine, and there were some great features in there by yourself and Kieran, and there were one thing that stood out to me, it's still in my mind now, and I've always wanted to ask you about it, and do you have a memory? You wrote about that time, and you wrote that Kieran Rich taught you how to catch carp, and you taught him how to win.
Yeah.
I always remember that sentence.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, it changed his attitude about being competitive, and when he taught me about carp, and I went, I mean the first week we stopped together at Whiteacres, he didn't have a drink all week, right? And that's the mentality. I says, if you're sharing with me, you've got to fish like me, you've got to want to win, and you've got to be competitive. And I taught him about being competitive, you know, and you've got to win sections, you've got to do this, you've got to be positive. And that's what I did. I changed his attitude, and I think for 3 or 4 years we were like, wow, we won everything down. It was like ridiculous. We just and he couldn't win a festival. I think he finished up winning 3 or 4. But I changed his attitude. He taught me how to fish for commercialism. So it was a good partnership. I mean. Whiteacres must have gone bankrupt that first week when he didn't have a drink. He never had a drink all week. I kept saying to him, go have a pint, you can have a pint. No, you said I can't drink. And he never had a drink. And while we were together, he never actually drank a lot, even when he were down there. But he were a great. He has got a great fishing brain on him, that lad. Almost like you could have done a little bit more with him. I think there was something not quite missing regarding. He never got a break, if that makes sense, but he is some fisherman, him. He really learnt me a lot. I owe a lot to him, to be honest with you.
Brilliant. And Whiteacres, I mean, we've had this chat before,
yeah.
But we stopped opposite each other, didn't we, when, I think about 3 years ago, on your last festival, I think it was.
I think it was last festival we were down there, yeah.
But you had an awful lot of frame places at Whiteacres, but you only managed to win one.
I've only ever won one.
Maximum points about 3 times?
Oh, no, 7 times I had maximum points. 7 times I had maximum points, I never won one. And it was weird, so frustrating. But I mean, I don't know how many times I went top 10. It were, but I think I had 36 points 7 times. I never won one, and that one I won on weight. I had to win 5 sections and won on weight, and I just couldn't. It was just weird how it happened. Fridays, I used to hate Fridays. I can't remember how many festivals I was winning, and on Friday I drew a peg I couldn't compete on, and it was just what it is. It's just fishing, but you've got to win sections, and this is what I try to teach Kieran is, look, you've got to win sections. And I'm going to tell you something now, and it sounds stupid and people might not believe me, but this is how it works. You can go to Whiteacres and you can fish 5 days and you can come second in your section 5 days on trot. So you've got 5 seconds, you're throwing away a second, you've got 32 points, and you will never ever get it top 10. And you're like, that's unbelievable, isn't it? I remember coming home once, and I went to Lindholm, and John Hartley said, how did you go on last week? And I went, if I tell you, you'll not believe me. And he went, go on then. I went, I fished 10 matches, right? I said, I've had 8 section wins outright, and I've had 2/3. He went, right, yeah. I can throw the 2/3 away. The first week I had 400 and somewhat pound, and the second week I had just shy of 500 pound, right? And I finished 4th and 6th overall. And he went, what? I said, I finished 4th and 6th. And I says, I've had 8 perfect section points and 2/3. And the ones I were 3rd on, right, I'm playing a carp on one of them, and it's come off at £8, and I've gone like that and missed it. If I'd have got that, I would have won the section and won that festival. And the week after, the last cast in 3rd in section, I lost my section with £2. Last cast, my float's gone like that and I've missed it. And all I remember of that week is a lost fish and a missed bite. And that's all I remember of them 2 weeks. And he went, I can't believe that. I went, I had 36 points, both matches. I threw away 2/3, I come 4th and 6th at festivals. That's what I'm saying to you. It's that difficult to win. You've got to win sections. It's just what it is.
It's an incredible, I mean, I think it's an incredible arena of competitive commercial fishing, the best.
It's unbelievable, yeah. Well, I always said that when you went to Whiteacres, because people come from the Midlands, from the south and from the north, it was the home of commercial fishing. You learnt about different aspects of commercial fishing, which I brought back to my local places then, and I learnt off them. And one of the things I learnt about was, there used to be 3 weeks. There used to be the first week, which were always the Lancashire week. All Lancashire lads used to come down. Then the second week, it were almost like the Midland week, where all the Midland used to come. Then the third week were always the Southern week. All the Southern, the Milo match, and all the Southerners used to come. Now, one of the things I learned was this, and I learned this very quickly. You have to use the baits that they all use. The first week, because it were Lancashire lads, it were worms. And you had to fish worms because they were all putting them in. And the second week, when the other lads come, were meat and corn. And if you didn't fish meat and corn, you didn't catch. And then the third week, when the Londoners come, they used to fire maggots in, and you had to spray maggots. And if you thought you were 1 week ahead, so first week we were all worm, so you used to fish worm, second week you couldn't catch them. And then when you used to go there and think, well, it's all meat and corn, and you didn't fish maggot, you couldn't catch on them. You had to fish what the anglers were throwing in, and I learned that very quickly. Is that when you go to a commercial fishing, find out what the locals are using and what they're firing, because that's what the bait you've got to use.
That's interesting.
And I learned that very quickly. And me and Kieran went to a. And this is we couldn't work out. We couldn't get the balance quite right. And then Kieran clicked on, and what it was. He went to fish a match at Moorlands, and on the Saturday, it was a 2-day match, and on the Saturday it were all casters and maggots only. It were just no meat and no corn, and the elastic were all over the place, every £100. The day after, you could fish meat and corn and pellets. I'm not sure pellets were in there, but meat and corn. But he thought it'd be cute. I'll go fish casters and maggots because yesterday it were awesome. Couldn't catch a carp. Everybody that put meat in and corn caught carp because that's what they wanted, and he never hooked a carp. And that's how we clicked on these 3 weeks. So what we did, when we went on the first week we fished worms, on the second week we fished corn and meat, and on the third week we fished maggots. And when we learned that sequence we competed, and that's what we did. You couldn't do anything different out there. You had to do what everybody else were doing, and that was one of the biggest things I learnt about commercial fishing. Now pellets have ruined that a little bit. They've ruined that because now you've got fish pellets on every fishery. But before pellets, that's the way that you had to fish. The carp will respond to what the bait that everybody's throwing in, and I'll learn lots of things. So one of the things I do when I go to a commercial, find out what the baits you're allowed, and if corn and meat are allowed, you fish meat usually. When meat's not allowed, you fish corn, because the fish normally want meat before corn.
It's so interesting that sort of way of thinking about it.
Absolutely, but it takes a while to knit in. But Kieran's brain, he was so good at working things out like that. And of course, I was listening to him and talking. It was me that put it together, but it was him that thought it all out. It were a nice combination between us two. I owe a lot to that lad. I'll be honest with you, I really do.
In this sort of time frame as well, obviously your daughter Emma was rising in her angling profile as well.
Yeah.
Just talk to us a little bit about that, because I know you managed the ladies.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
As well.
Emma was coming through ranks. Grandad Jack Purchase used to take her as a kid, and we're very grateful to what he did, and we still miss him like mad. And then I think she was about 11. She started getting competitive. I could see, and I knew I had to get her away from Jack to teach her the match skills while she was young, to get her hands right when she's fishing and everything. And because people don't realise how important the hands are when you're fishing, and having them in the right order where your bait is and everything like that. And I didn't think her hands were right in how she was doing things, and I knew I had to get her away. And so I started taking her with me to be competitive, which didn't go down right well at times, but I knew I had to do. So anyway, I took her on up matches, started taking her to wide takers, showing her different things. But I realised she was getting competitive, and then I started taking up canal, and she was doing all right bloodworm fishing. And I said to Mark Downs, "Do you mind if I bring her for unders? I think you're under 16s or 17s then to trials." So she's not going to get team, but I wanted to get that experience. And it was at Cannon Hill Park in Birmingham, and he went, "Yeah, it's okay." So we put her in the middle of them. I'm not quite sure how old she was. I think she was 14, and put her in the middle of these kids, sat there, and she come second. And I thought, wow, I thought she was awesome. I thought, wow, that was good. Anyway, called them all in, and anyway, I'm packing the stuff up for afternoon match. And Mark's giving them all a talk, and he gave them all a number to come through, and she come running up to me. And this is the moment I know, this is the moment when I know that she wanted it. And she come running up to me, she says, "Dad, get my stuff, get it in that car and put it on peg 13. He's put me in the middle of them all big names. I need to show them, I need to show what I can do." And I just put my head down, I thought, crikey. And she went down, and I think she come first or second in it, and she got picked. And it was like, but that was the moment when I knew that she wanted it. I knew that she'd got because she's always had her mum's skills. Her mum was the most natural angler I've ever seen. She always had her mum's natural ability. But that was the moment I knew she'd got my drive and ambition and want it, whereas her mum hadn't got that. And so she got that combination of her mum's natural ability and my drive power, and that's the perfect combination. And that was the moment I knew. And we went. I think it was Hungary, the first one she went on, and she fished 3 or 4. Then when she was 16, I got a coach job to be England ladies manager, and I picked her for first year, and I think we won 3 in first 4, and we got 3 or 4 goals in that, and Sandra won 2 individuals, Emma won individual, and we had a right good few years at that. It were an awesome time, And to be honest with you, I still think I've been manager at girls. I right enjoyed that, and a few things happened, like Claire passed away, and that were really sad. That knocked a lot of stuff in out of me, and we had a problem with Sam Perkins on bank with her heart, and we had her in hospital, and I think them two took a lot of toll on me. I'll be honest with you, a real lot, and I packed it in there. And I'll be honest with you, I think if them two were still there, I think I'd still be manager, because they were great, Claire. Sandra and Wendy, and 2 Wendys, and they were awesome, really. I mean, they were ruthless. They were absolute animals. They wanted to kill everybody on back. They were absolutely fantastic. And I think, look, with Claire passing away, that were horrible. That took a lot out of all of us, to be fair, all of us. And we had a big problem with Sam Montbank. We had her in hospital, and she had a lot of problems with her heart and that coming back. She's fine now, but at that time, them 2 things took a lot out of me, to be honest with you. And I think I'd have still been in charge, because I love being. It were fantastic, the lasses. It really was. It were an education, and they just got the knack of winning gold medals. They were awesome.
Awesome, brilliant. Right, I want to move now on to what I call perhaps the more recent years, and the World Feeder Team. Talk us through what happened there.
Well, I heard about this. I was commercially mad then. I don't know what I heard about. I heard about there's going to be Feeder World Championships, and I went, really? I heard about this. I thought, I might be able to get my international hat back on here, and then I started writing names down who I thought could be in a team. This was before anything, and I was like, I wonder if I could get picked for this. I thought, but I heard a long time before other people had heard. So I started changing my fishing straight away. I started going back to fishing conventional feeder ways, going back on river and going to different places. And then it come out. I were almost preparing before everyone knew about it. And I thought, I wonder if I can get my international hat back on here. And I was buzzing, I'll be honest with you, I was proper buzzing. And then all of a sudden, phone call come from Dick Clay, international events manager. This is a Feeder World Championship, so yeah, I know. Oh, how do you know? I went, last year. Yeah? I said, yeah, it's in Toddy in Italy. And he went, you know more about it than me. And we were having this, we were laughing about it, and I went, he says, I want you to be manager. I said, I want to fish. I knew you were going to say that. And he went, but I don't know who to be manager. I said, well, look, if it helps, I'll be manager for 2 years as long as I can fish. And no, you're not doing that. But he rang me back a couple of days later and said, look, for 2 years I'll let you do that. And I went, look, but I want to fish. I was really adamant I wanted to fish. And he went, yeah, all right, I'll put up with that for 2 years. Anyway, I picked a team. You thought the Third World War had started when I picked this team.
I was going to say, I mean,
God,
but what a brief! You know, you've got a list of anglers there from the whole of England.
Yeah.
And you've got to pick the 6 best from a discipline that had never really been considered before.
Absolutely. Right. So, like when Mark and Mark took over, they took an existing team and everything and tweaked it a bit. But I had to pick 6 anglers. Well, I hadn't got a clue. I'd got a clue because I'd already done my list, because I sent a list into Dick of all the names and what I thought the strengths and everything like that were. But it was the international experience. So I went for a squad of what I thought, well, I know the decent feeder anglers, and but they ain't got international experience. I mean, some of the things that were said were unbelievable. I mean, honestly, I was like, wow, I was like gobsmacked. I had to ring all the anglers up that I'd told and say, you must not go on Facebook, you mustn't answer back and everything like that. It was unbelievable. And me and Mick went to Ireland to start feeder fishing, and crikey, we got slated, we really did. And but what I did, I picked a team that I thought, well, they could feeder fish, but it was the international experience that I was more concerned about. Anyway, we went to Toddy, we come 5th, and I realised that we got to change. The first one was, because everybody just expected to turn and win, which, apart from me, I didn't expect that at all. But I come away thinking, we're not right. I've got to change the mentality, and I've got to coach them how to feeder fish international. And so I changed a few things, and I was going to pack in after the fish here. I was actually going to pack in. And I thought, because I just wanted to, I really wanted to fish. Anyway, we went second year, and it was in Belgium we got a bronze medal, and we should have won it that year, in all fairness. We drew horrific. We drew in 2 sections in A&E where we didn't have a chance really. We were wrong end completely. We didn't even have one angler at the right end at any days. But we got a bronze medal, so it got us on board. But again, I was learning about the anglers, and we had I was taking groups of 15 to try and pick them out, or having trials. I took them abroad to try and pick the ones out who I thought I could coach and into the right mentality. And then we went to Ireland, and my dad died on the Wednesday, and when I got there I couldn't fish, I couldn't manage, and my dad, I couldn't handle the 3 things. And so I stepped down, and when I stepped down then I could concentrate more on coaching. And we won it. We got it spot on between us all, and we got a silly points, 25 points I think over 2 days. It was just incredible. And of course that was the one where I got probably slated most, because everybody expected just to put 5 Irish lads in who'll go all the time, But it was naught to do with that. It's about fishing international. Naught to do with feeder fishing. It's about mentality for international fishing. And that's what I had to bring into them. And when we won it, I knew I could never be manager. I could never fish again. And or I could pack it in up to get it team. And I took it on, we won again year after in Belgium. And then we just kept doing well, and I just knew I could never fish again, and it still breaks me out that I'm not fishing. I really do, because that's all I wanted to do really, and I had 8 years at it. I'm going to make years of my life really, and that's what you do as a manager. That's what you do. You give them your life, because you're looking after not just a group of anglers. You're looking after other people as well, looking at other people and watching them, and after 8 years I'd had enough really, but I'll have to be in a good position, and Dean will take it on now, and he'll drive what he believes into it, and we've got end of the day like crikey, we've got 5 anglers at best 6 anglers in the world. I mean, look at the record, it's awesome. So I'm quite proud of what we did really. I really am, and I'm really proud of what we all achieved, not just me. That people have got to want it to do it and everything, but the one thing that we're proud at more than anything, they learn to fish internationally. Not just feeder fish. Anybody can put a feeder on and an up length and cast it out. There's lots of anglers that can do that, but have you got the strength in your head and your brains and your fishing technique? When I come to you and say do this now, you wind in and do it. So I could tell you some right stories. I've thrown things and all sorts. I mean, they talk about Fergie and his airbrush. Well, I had one and all, so but they had to do what I wanted them to do. I was trying to teach them how to do it, whereas now they just do it naturally. You watch them fish now internationally, and I don't have to say a lot really, because they know. And not just that, we found leaders within the team. I think there's 2 fantastic leaders in the team, Mick Viles and Steve Ringer. And now that they've got Lee Kerry as well, who's a natural leader. But Steve Ringer's just just an awesome fisherman. He's like when I was fishing the float team, Kevin was our leader of the team. I'm a big believer in having a leader of the team, because they don't always want to talk to me, but they want to talk to themselves. Kevin was our leader, and you ask any of the lads that were in that team, that they'll say, "Oh, what leader team?" They'll go, "Kevin." Without question, Kevin were our man, and they'll say the same in time to come, Steve. I mean, Steve will get lads telling if I didn't have to. I'll never forget one, which I must admit I was really proud. One of the lads wasn't doing what I asked, and I could see him, and I was getting frustrated. I was really frustrated, and I threw an umbrella about 50 yards, and I sat back down, I shouted time, and Steve jumped off his box. He rang straight, I'm not mentioning it, I just rang straight down to him, and I saw him doing that. And he just said, "Why don't you just do what Tommy has asked you to do?" And that's what we were telling him. And he went back, and I went down to this person, and I went, "All right." He went, "Yeah." And he went, "I'm sorry, I'll never do that again." I went, "I know you won't, because you won't be coming with me if you do." And I realised how important Steve was at team then. And he was leader at lads. And if I had a problem, I could just say to Steve, "Sort that out for me." And he'd go up to him, and he'd tell him. And they respected him enough to do it. And together then, there were like me and Glenn as a unit, then me and Dean last year, we worked together up bank, worked with the lads, and I got my own style, my own system of how like I allow the like I mean I had like Eddie Bryden and Will Freeman and Jamie Harrison appeal. I allowed them to go down to the anglers and talk to them, pass the information on that way, so they were learning as well of how it all works. So I'd got my own little idea, my little setup. But I was very lucky that at the time I'd got two leaders in Mick and Steve, and now they've got another natural leader, and you need that within your team. You know, you need your anglers to actually, somebody in the team to actually be in control of the men, so me and Ian can like you know, when we had team meetings, I mean me, Glenn, or me and Dean, and then brought Steve in, we discussed everything, we worked it out, then went to the team and told them what they were doing, and that's how it worked. But Steve is just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable how good he is.
So you finished with the feeder team as a manager. Tommy, you don't strike me as the kind of bloke who's just going to have a nice, gentle retirement, though. What's next? There's got to be something next.
No, there isn't. To be fair, there isn't. There's nothing. There's nothing really. There's one job I'd love to do. There's one job, but I'll never get it, and it will be hard to turn down, but it'll never happen. So, to be honest with you, I really don't know what I'm going to do, and that's the truth. That I'd love to fish vets. I don't get picked for vets. I'd love to fish vets. I keep hoping there's going to be a feed of vets and things like. Because in my head, I'm still internationally. I still want to fish internationally, but I'm also a believer in. I think when your time's up, your time's up. And I felt my time were up with feeder. You know, it was like there were a couple of things that happened that I was like, no, I've done now. I knew. You know, I've seen it when other managers have, what I call, have gone on the other side, and I never wanted that to happen to me. I didn't want to get bored with it, that it affects the lads and things like that. Because I think newness sometimes makes a difference. People see new ideas and new things, and the truth is, I don't know. Internationally, I'd still like to do something. I don't know what. I can only probably be something in vets, but I don't get picked, so which is fair enough. Like it's same old story, you know. They don't see me in that play, and why? That's fair enough. I have no problem with it. I just want them to win a gold medal, whether I'm in it or not, and that's one thing I've always been a big believer in. But I think if I'm going to do something, I'd love to go back to pure natural fishing.
Yeah.
You know, like just fishing canals and places like that, rivers. I love, you know, I mean, I went on Tidal Trent the other week and I enjoyed that match more than any match I've fished this year. I still look like to win Fishermania, you know, but I'm 64. I've got to be realistic as well. You have to be realistic. In your head, I'm 25, but my body's not allowing me to do things that, you know, that I'd like to do. But basically, I'd like to. I mean, I've had a couple of job opportunities from abroad that I've turned down, you know, which I've turned down, and because, you know, internationally, and you know, I couldn't coach somebody else against England. I could never do that.
No,
I couldn't do that. I'm not saying other people couldn't do it, but I couldn't do that. I could never sit there coaching another team and all my mates are up there with England shirts, and I couldn't do that, and I don't get that with other sports.
Yeah,
I don't quite get that when I don't understand how a Swede can be manager of England football team. I don't get that. I don't understand how a South African can be manager of as Australian be manager of the England cricket team.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Personally, I don't get that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's my view. I don't know how you can stand there and listen to the national anthem and not be English.
Yeah.
It don't sit right with me. But that's only my view. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just my view. But there, there's things that I'd love to do, but I know I'll never be able to do them. You know, it's just what it is. But the most important thing is, I was born a fisherman. I'll die as a fisherman, and whether that's fishing internationally, fishing my local matches, or fishing just what it is. But that's one thing that is for certain. I'll always enjoy my fishing. I'll always go fishing, and whatever happens, happens.
Tommy, as you know, I always like to end these interviews with a contentious question, so you might want to take a second to think about this. Apologies in advance if it stumps you. You've fished in the float and the feeder team. You've managed the feeder team and the ladies team. Who, in your opinion, is the best all-round angler? And that's across both disciplines, float and feeder.
Right, I have a simple answer for this, and the most natural angler I've ever seen is Kevin Ashurst. He could get a twig off that tree and catch a roach without trying. He was just natural. My mate Dennis White's probably the best all-round angler I've ever known, but I think that because he's my best mate, I'm going to put that to the side. The best angling brain I've ever come across, Steve Ringer. Incredible. Unbelievable. So quick, like that. Unbelievable. It blows me away. Unbelievable. But I believe, this is my belief, if you've won World Championship 5 times, I think you are entitled to be called best angler there's ever been. And that's Alan Scottone. Now, I know I haven't been in feeder setup, but he is an incredible feeder fisherman. And I think he's the greatest match angler there's ever been. Because he's got 5 world titles more than anybody else. And so I think he's entitled to be called the best angler there's ever been. And it's as simple as that.
I don't think anybody can argue with that. Tommy, it's been an absolute honour talking to you.
No, honour's been mine. Thank you.
Thank you.